Earth's inhabitants have been overtaken by a global flood. People trapped in a flooded apartment building are forced to enter a fierce struggle for survival. The film's plot, based on a pessimistic weather forecast, begins in Seoul, in the apartment of a scientist, Kwon, where she lives with her son, Jae. In the morning, she sees that it is pouring buckets outside and decides to stay home, taking the day off work. However, the situation quickly deteriorates. Water from the outside suddenly begins to flood their third-floor apartment, while her young son rejoices at the spontaneous swimming pool right inside their home. The woman receives a call from work. A security guard named Hee warns her that the evacuation of valuable employees is beginning. He orders them to go up to the upper floors with her son, as the third floor will soon be completely submerged. When the power goes out and communication lines are cut, the woman searches for her son, who is hiding in the closet. The boy is upset that his mom didn't look at his drawings. They leave the apartment and see that the water has completely flooded the courtyard up to the third level. The rain shows no signs of stopping. The stairs to the upper floors are blocked by a gridlock of people, and is not the only one with this bright idea. However, she is the first to figure out to go up via the external fire escape. The woman drags her son through several flights before hitting a well-organized barricade, and is forced to climb over it along the railings. Wandering through the outer corridors, the woman hears guard Hee, who has arrived to get them. Distracted by shouting back and forth with him, and notices that her son has disappeared somewhere, having drifted away with the stream of people. She sets off in search of him, but suddenly sees a huge wave of water approaching through the window, a veritable tsunami, sweeping away everything in its path. The wave hits the building, shattering the glass. However, despite the rushing water and memories of how she almost drowned in a car with her husband, and does not lose her composure, holding her breath, she finds her son among the drowning victims. Grabbing him, the woman tries to swim out of the submerged room, but the exit is blocked. She nearly loses consciousness when he appears and helps them swim to the surface. After resuscitating the boy, the guard says it is time to move on. A helicopter will be waiting for them on the roof. On the way there, he explains that the end of the world has come. A meteorite crashed in Antarctica, causing the polar ice caps to melt. The government kept the collision secret to avoid inciting panic. It is impossible to save everyone anyway, but to give humanity a chance at rebirth, and must be evacuated. She is the last specialist who worked on the emotion module for artificial intelligence, with which scientists hope to repopulate the planet with lab-grown humans after the flood. He advises the scientist to change into dry clothes, picking something from the wardrobe of the apartment owners they broke into, and uses his phone to call her parents to say goodbye. They're preparing to leave their shelter when a gas pipe is damaged by the pressure. Running out into the corridor, the trio sees apartments on the floor exploding from a gas leak. Trapped between two deadly threats, he suggests climbing to the next floor via the balcony. Climbing up first, he hauls the boy up after him, but falls down, straight into the water flooding the building. Having swum to a flooded floor, the woman hears a girl stuck in an elevator. To open the jammed door, she goes upstairs for tools, but encounters looters and prefers to stealthily retreat. At that moment, another wave covers the building, raising the water level, and has a flashback. When their car fell into the sea, her husband handed her their son so she could save him while he drowned himself. With heavy thoughts, the woman climbs to the 18th floor, where she sees that her son is in bad shape. He needs the medicine she lost to improve the kid's health, and breaks into yet another apartment, occupied by an old couple. The weather allows them to cast a fishing net into the blue sea without leaving their home, mixing juice with sugar, and gives the exhausted Jia a drink. In the process, she remembers that this is not her child, but part of an experiment with an emotion module, and he is soon to be taken away. He also reminds her of this during a conversation on the balcony, while the boy rests and the sun briefly peeks out from behind the clouds. According to the plan, only an is to be evacuated. But there is no time to indulge in grief. Another gigantic wave is approaching the city, its crest rising above the rooftops. Hastily continuing their ascent, the trio reaches the 28th floor, wherein sees a woman in labor and her husband. Reaching the roof, he reports to his superiors that the mission is complete. Employees in black appear, take Jay, and chain him to the railing to extract the emotion module, and begs the security team to let her take her son. But he reminds her that at the beginning of the experiment, she herself wanted to hand him back, before they crack open the child's skull to extract the memories, and says goodbye to him. Whispering something in his ear, then she walks to the helicopter, in front of which the men in black gun down He has completed his task and is no longer needed. Only is evacuated. The aircraft flies over the city, which has been swallowed by water. Soon, space rockets launch from the cosmodrome before the massive torrents of water can flood them. Already inside the spaceship, and is reminded of her mission. She created an emotion module for artificial humans, but only the first half. After the son, a mother must also be created to take care of him. To do this, they have to create a computer simulation in which the test subject will attempt to save her child countless times, resetting to the beginning in case of failure. Reflecting on this, and sees a neighboring spaceship destroyed by an asteroid fragment, and the debris flies in their direction. Suddenly, she wakes up in her apartment. It is raining outside, and on the phone, Guard He announces the impending evacuation, busy with urgent matters. The woman ignores Jay's request to look at his drawings, getting ready to leave, and finds her son hiding in the closet. He is once again upset by her behavior. A mother and child head toward the stairs, but they are blocked. The fire escape is also overcrowded this time. People are scrambling to get up, spotting He on the floors above, and waits for the tsunami to hit, then swims upward. After boosting her son up, she climbs over the railing herself but finds that Jaya is missing. Spotting a child floundering in the water outside, the woman rushes after him. At some point, everyone above the water's surface vanishes, and a helicopter flies overhead, triggering an memories of a past evacuation. She still has Jaga's diving goggles in her pocket from that event. At this moment, she is struck and stunned by a car floating up from behind. Even in these conditions, morons behind the wheel are a danger. The simulation restarts and wakes up, saved by He. He shows her a photo of the missing Jaga, who left somewhere with other people. A security guard persuades the scientist to proceed to the roof, but she is determined to find her son first. To do this, she even takes He's gun, threatening him. A gas explosion interrupts this simulation. The next He holds an above the water, but she breaks free and dives. From below, she sees a man holding Jaya on an upper floor. To reach him, the woman swims toward the building. There, and encounters a jammed elevator with a girl inside. She remembers that she has already experienced this. While trying to open the door, and drowns in another simulation, she grabs a mop and uses its broken handle to pry the door open, managing to pull the girl out before she drowns. From her, and learns about looters operating in the building who might have seized Jaya, approaching the apartment where the criminals broke in. A number 4007 recalls how her past iteration 4006 died at their hands. She arms herself with a hammer at the entrance to question them about her son. The looters attack Anne, but she manages to fight them off using the tool, continuing the simulation, though not for long. At the last moment, the girl she saved earlier opens the door along with He. The trained guard throws one bandit off the balcony and breaks the second one's arm to politely interrogate him. Learning that the criminals saw the boy but let him go, he concludes that no one kidnapped him. He hid from his own mother himself. When they leave, the elderly people saved from the robbers give an orange juice, medicine for Jaya. He says he has contacted colleagues. They will send a squad to locate the boy. But in remembering that security will take him away, wants to find her son herself before they do. She begs He to help in the search by splitting up. Jaya is surely hiding in a closet in some apartment. She then rushes to search the massive residential complex flooded with water. One among many just like it, spawned by the computer simulation. His arriving colleagues begin searching for the missing child, unhesitatingly gunning down useless civilians, hiding from them, and notices her son's drawings on the wall. On the 28th floor, she finds a woman giving birth, whom she helps as best she can until her husband returns with clean water. This is already the 7,993rd version of an N. Suddenly, the woman remembers what her son said that morning. He sent a drawing to her phone and also wondered why he is always 6 years old. Time after time, taking out her smartphone, she sees a message, a drawing of a mother saying goodbye to her son with a helicopter in the background. The moment from the evacuation when she abandoned him. And she has hundreds of such messages and realizes that her son ran away and hid because she abandoned him that time. The woman checks the last remaining closet in a standard room on the floor, but falls into a trap set by security, who subdue her to take her to the roof. He says she will be given time to say goodbye to her son, to which she replies that they will kill him before the helicopter arrives. She has already gone through this. This is the 13,417th version of the simulation. In it, he, believing her words, engages his colleagues in battle, knocking them out, and under tranquilizers helps him deal with the last fighter with her remaining strength by shooting him. He injects her with an antidote, after which the scientist explains the setup. They are inside a simulation that started after the first evacuation. Through trial and error, she changed something in each subsequent version, advancing further and further, but to complete it, she needs to find Jaya. He is certain the boy is waiting for his mom to find him. After all, there is no such thing in the world as lost children. But there is one problem: the aggressive security forces, who have other goals, and he are forced to battle bots, shooting them time after time and dying in an unequal fight. More than 21,000 simulations fly by in this endless war. Eventually, Anne reaches the last closet in an apartment under renovation. When security prevents her from opening the closet, the woman, trained by all these attempts, engages them in battle, utilizing a sudden flood and breathing air from bottles underwater. However, the boy is not inside, having shaken off her pursuers in black, and swims out and climbs to the deserted roof of the building. There, among other junk and belongings discarded by tenants, is one more wardrobe, the last one she hasn't checked inside, and finds Ja, the boy, lies unconscious. She gives him the saved juice to drink, asking aloud for forgiveness for abandoning him. Waking up, the son reminds her that she didn't abandon him. Saying goodbye at the evacuation, she whispered in his ear that the next time he wakes up, Ja should get to the roof and wait for her in this box. That is what he did every time during these simulations. At this moment, and recalls that in reality, when she was wounded by a piece of space debris, she volunteered as a test subject for the creation of a maternal emotion module, especially since Jati's mind, extracted a bit earlier and placed in an artificial intelligence environment, would be waiting for her in accordance with her parting words. At this moment, a helicopter with security appears, grabbing her son, and runs to the edge of the roof as the final giant wave approaches the building. She tells the boy to jump into the water, promising to swim with him, and stays behind to hold off the men in black, whose task is to catch the boy. When Jajam jumps into the water and the wave covers the roof, another simulation ends, however, this time and remembers how she raised Ja, a boy artificially grown in a test tube with an emotion module built into his skull. In this way, programmers wanted to record a human personality to recreate it later. This time, the simulation ends with the victory of Anne, who has achieved her goal. As the virtual world is erased, the woman jumps from the roof into the void of darkness. She finds herself in a boundless sea where she sees a radio tower spire protruding from the water, on which Ja is sitting. The woman embraces her son against the backdrop of an approaching tsunami, finally completing the simulation and the creation of the maternal emotion module. After this, on spaceships orbiting the planet, artificial intelligence creates artificial humans, identical to natural ones and endowed with consciousness and emotions. The program deploys these homunculi in escape pods back to Earth, which has survived the global flood, so that they may revive humanity. Dozens of capsules with a mother and child fly toward Earth. This is where the film ends.